All right, so today we're going to talk about waste management. Waste management, we're really talking about the water that is leaving your house, the used water, and what happens to that water, how it is kind of cleaned so that it can be recycled and put out back into the environment and be reused. So some of the clean water is fine without treatment, but most of the water that's coming out of your house is called gray water. Okay, so gray water is water that you're going to get from any of your appliances in the house, your drains, basically anything and everything except for your toilets. Okay, your toilets are going to give you what's known as brown water, but the gray water is going to come from everything else. So 50 to 80% of domestic wastewater is actually gray water. A lot of that, depending on where you're at, you can actually have a system set up to where your gray water goes into a storage tank and then is reused for watering the lawn. And it can be reused for irrigation, or it could be reused for different things around the house. Your wastewater can be treated. Okay, so if you live in the city, your water is sent out to a facility where it is actually cleaned and treated. If you are out more in the country and you're not on public works water, then your water is going to go into a septic tank. So wastewater is transported to an on-site or an off-site treatment facility plant. Again, it all depends on where, if it's a business, if it's residential, where it's located, all kinds of different things. So publicly owned treatment works, or POTWs. This is where all of us that live in the city, our wastewater actually goes to a publicly owned and operated wastewater treatment plant. These treatment plants take the wastewater and they put them through a series of different cleaning, treatment, so that the water is drinkable by the end of the process. So typically at the beginning of the treatment, what happens is they're catching all of the solids. So the water is going through some kind of graded system, and they're catching all of the solids. Those solids are then they are at the treatment plant that I went to referred to as cake, and then that product is then sold to or given to local farmers so that they can use as fertilizer. Then the secondary treatment, the water is put into these big like pool looking things, and the water looks like kind of like chocolate milk, and there are like amoebas and things in the water that are going through, and they're eating the bacteria and they're cleaning it, and it's a natural treatment. They eat all of the pollutants, the bacteria, and then finally the water is moved through another system where chemicals are now added to the water, like chlorine, to disinfect, to kill anything that the biological treatment was unable to get out of the system. Once the water has been disinfected, it is then put back out into the natural environment. So it's put into a stream, a river, a bayou, kind of wherever. The water coming out of the treatment plant is actually cleaner than the water it's going into. So at this point, you're going to want to pause this video and write this stuff down. These are all facts that you need to know and you need to be able to use for any of the problems that you're going to be coming up against. So minimum pipe sizes, that's talking about the actual sewer line leaving the house or the business. So 3 or 4 inches for residents. It's going to depend on the size. Most houses, it's going to be a 3-inch. I would say if you've got some kind of larger mansion, then you're looking at, with tons of bedrooms, really more, you're looking at how many fixtures. Okay, the more fixtures, the bigger the pipe it's going to need to be. Multifamily or commercial facility. Multifamily refers to an apartment complex, and then 8-inch for industrial facility. So depth, this is how far below the surface the pipe needs to be. So the pipe needs to be at least 2 feet below the lowest floor with sanitary sewage drainage. So your first floor of your house has sewage drainage, right? You've got your kitchen sink, you have most likely a restroom. So this is saying it has to be a minimum of 2 feet below your first floor. The sewer lateral slope. So this pipe that's going from your house to the sewage line has to have at least a minimum of a 2% slope. So remember slope from math, rise over run. You learned that in pre-algebra and in algebra 1. So slope, here's an application for it. So when you were calculating this back in math and you're like, we're never going to use this. Why are we learning this stuff? Well, here's a real life application. Slope of the sewer pipe. And this is a very, very, very important slope, because if your slope is less than 2%, then your water is not going to drain. It is actually going to back up into the house and you will have a giant mess and it will be very stinky. The other thing that you need to know is you want your wastewater and your clean water to be separate. You don't want your wastewater pipe to burst and somehow seep into your clean water. So you have a 10-foot minimum horizontal distance between the two when they're buried. So you could have one coming in on one side of the house and one going out on the other side of the house. You will be designing this stuff when we get into the next unit after Christmas, where you will actually be building a house. You'll be designing and building a house, and then you will be doing a plumbing plan for that house. And so this is something you're going to have to take into consideration, is where your water supply is coming in and your sewage water is leaving. Your sewer line must also be 18 inches below the water supply line. That way, if it bursts, it's not seeping into our water supply. Okay, so this is a picture of what the sewer line is going to look like under the ground leaving the house. So you'll see you have the line coming out from the house. The clean out is so that if there's any kind of backup, somebody could go and open up this cap and go in and get rid of the whatever is causing the backup. Okay, you have a minimum of a 2% slope. So you're going to hear a lot about invert elevation and crown elevation. So we're talking about two different pipes, and it's really easy to get these two confused. Two different pipes. We're talking about the lateral pipe leaving the house and the sewer main. Okay, so two different pipes. Crown elevation, because it's a circle, right? There's going to be two elevations to this pipe. There's an elevation at the top and at the bottom. Crown elevation refers to the top of the pipe. Think about you wear a crown on your head. So the crown elevation is the top of the pipe. The lateral elevation is the bottom of the pipe. I'm sorry, the invert elevation is the bottom. So when we're doing this problem to calculate the slope, we need the invert of the lateral at the building. The lateral at the building is referring to this lateral pipe leaving the building. We want the invert elevation. Y'all, the poop water is going to be at the bottom of the pipe. Your dirty gray water is going to be at the bottom of the pipe. We are on Earth. We are not out in outer space. Our water is not flowing at the top of the pipe. It's flowing at the bottom of the pipe. So we want that invert elevation. That pipe is going to connect to the crown about the middle of that pipe. So we're going to calculate our crown elevation, because that's how we can figure out how far it is from the ground. And then notice in our formula, we are adding half of the outside diameter. So we are subtracting all the way down, right? And then we're going to add this 1/2 inch diameter. We're adding that 1/2 inch diameter because the water is going to flow in at about halfway of this pipe. So this pipe leaving the house is probably about 3 to 6 inches, depending on what it is. Residential, you're looking at 3 inches. This pipe over here is going to be 14 to maybe 18, 20 inches. So that 3-inch pipe is going to hit about the middle of that pipe. Okay, so half OD is outside diameter. Outside diameter. So pipe has thickness. It has an inside diameter, outside diameter. You're referring to the outside diameter, and half the outside diameter would be the same thing as the radius. Okay, so on-site water treatment plants. So if you don't live close enough to be connected to city, then you are on what is called a septic system or a private sewage system of some kind. That's where the wastewater is held and treated on site. So notice this map. If you look at the map, the states with the red, that's where you have your highest percentage of sewage septic systems used. Okay, notice in Texas, we're mostly connected to some kind of treatment plant. So there can be issues with having a septic system. They can fail after a while, or if they're not maintained and upkept. And so these are pictures of when that sewage tank has failed and the sewage water is started to seep into the ground. So let's talk about the actual system. You have your house, and then you have your sewage line leaving the house. It's going to go to a septic tank, and we'll look at that in more detail in just a second. So it's going in through the septic tank where it is being cleaned, kind of, and then it is going out into some kind of drain field. And this is going to be underground. It won't be near the surface. And so that water that's flowing out is being drained. You need to know the parts of this system, and then you need to know about the actual septic tank here. So the liquids flow into the septic tank. As your stuff is flowing into the septic tank, anything that is a large particle or heavy is going to go to the bottom, and it's going to become part of that sludge layer. Then there's going to be another layer that's got all of your lighter particles kind of flowing. And then at the very top is pretty much close to just water. All your particles are kind of going down. And then that water is going to flow out, and that's what's going to go into your drain field. And then you're going to have an area for air here at the top. And then you're going to have clean outs so that you can go in and clean this out. So you can see in this picture, they've got the, this is two septic tanks next to each other. And they're typically, like these right here, are concrete. Okay, so this is just another picture of how it works. So the water's going in the septic tank, and then it goes out into the drain field, and then it is absorbed into the ground. Soil testing is done to make sure that the area is stable enough to hold everything. Sometimes the reason why we have fails is that if the soil isn't strong enough, if the water table is too close to the drain field, if it wasn't maintained, if it wasn't constructed properly, or if the system is just too small for the house that, or the building that is draining into it. So if you have a septic tank that's rated for a 3-bath house and you have a 5-bath house, that's where you have issues and problems. So that is wastewater, or like I like to call it, poop water. I hope you were able to learn some new things with that. And then I will be creating a second video where I actually teach you how to do the calculations.